everybody, Harvey here. Welcome back to Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, or Stanley Parable 2. Our fucking bucket! Everything's a goddamn fucking bucket, apparently! I'm losing it! This game is making me lose it. I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't know what's happening anymore. What the fuck? I don't know what's happening anymore.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his
That
hand.
close.
It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were.
I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't know what.
Bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
I don't know what's happening. I also didn't find the last figurine.
Marie,
Figurine.
Entered the door on his
I don't know what's happening. We have a bucket. I don't know what's happening. Somewhere both red and blue. I don't know where that is. I don't know where somewhere both red and blue is. I'm sorry, I don't. Maybe it's downstairs.
Coming to the staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
Well,
office.
no, we went down. But we didn't actually do this sending.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work.
Yeah, we're trying to find figurines now, I guess.
And in such a competitive
losing
economy,
it.
why had he taken that? All because he believed everyone had vanished.
If you see the previous
His
part, you
boss
know why I'm
was
losing. I'm
crazy.
losing my fucking
And
mind.
Something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself,
I am crazy.
I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket.
Okay, actually,
Am
that's
I
my one.
crazy? He asked the bucket.
Yes,
The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all.
we're crazy.
That's
Crazy.
strange,
This is
Stanley
not
thought.
crazy.
Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong.
What?
Surely no.
Where'd the bucket go?
Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience?
I'm
without
losing
the
it.
psychologically grounding presence of his bucket.
Grounding, yes.
Now he noticed the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd.
I'm losing it.
Now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Oh, shit.
Gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
The amount of dialogue had to be recorded for this.
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next.
Ah!
None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
What is happening?
Bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks.
That's
He
what
knew
you
where
say,
the
I'm not.
voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Fuck!
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket.
Stop!
Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course,
Fucking buckets!
there were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life, kid.
Okay, that's funny.
All the way to work.
Okay, I actually need fucking water. I'm losing it, guys. I'm gone mad. The bucket's making me go mad. A room that is both red and blue. I'm trying to figure out how last figurine is. What?
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Where are we going today?
Oh, fuck's sake, help!
Smile. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Fucking buckets. What? Why is this different now? What is going on?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I need to think for a moment. Okay. Trying to figure out where our last figurine is, while also dealing with this madness. It's a room, both red and blue. I tried to go down to one place, but it said no buckets were allowed down there. So that's not it. The confusion ending? Maybe? I don't know. I'm going to go down the confusion ending.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good Stanley.
I'm losing it.
Glad
I
you
am
found
losing
your
it.
way here.
I'm
I
losing
knew
it.
You'd find this place eventually.
What the fuck?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's
The
this
baby.
bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next?
That's right,
and
Marcus.
it played some silly music as well.
Yeah! Yes! Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about.
Cut me off.
Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character.
The incinerator
This
from Portal?
is the Bucket Destroyer.
Because this is like my companion cube, and I can get rid
I
of it,
think
right?
it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's
That's-
such a
that's what worries
well-fleshed out
it.
character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
It destroyed the bucket.
Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
It's
Now
like
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket.
I'm trying.
I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket.
I'm
Destroying
trying.
buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
I am trying.
Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters?
I'm
Well,
trying.
you see, if you were to really explore the bucket destroyer,
I'm literally-
you'd see
I'm
that its
trying.
desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of bucket destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the bucket destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the bucket destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans.
I'm
Give
trying!
what they want. Hurry and...
What the hell?
Bucket destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
What is... I'm losing it. How many bucket endings am I getting?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's do the, let's
A good
do...
bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Let's do the ending where I have to go up and down the boss's office elevator multiple times. We got really early on.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Some were both red and blue. I'm still confused on that one. Yes, we're both red and blue. And I'm trying to think of places where they could be, which is why I'm going to the boss's elevator ending of up and down. Yeah, red room. Both red and blue. Red room. Huh. Final clues provided by employee 416. Oh, what if I do the glitch ending with the rocket?
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the
What if I do the
boss's
escape
office.
pod? It's not a rocket, it's an escape pod. Let's do the escape pod for a moment.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, let's do the elevator up and down. Let's do this because it leads to the red carpet ending or whatever, the celebrity ending or whatever, and I don't remember the rooms there. So let's do this.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing. Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. "Wow," he said, "the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life." Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was after taking some time to show the bucket around the boss's office. Stanley at last went to the keypad, where he began eagerly pressing the number 3 again and again.
Why? What is this? That's it? Okay. That's it. That's that. Okay. Okay.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Up we go. Up we go.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. "You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel." He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing. "Here we go," said Stanley. "This time I'll really show you." He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind.
Is it number 3? Because we're in the Stanley Parable 2
the
and
bucket appreciated what he was doing.
Is that why you chose 3?
The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all. Only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Thank you for the hint. Thank you for the advice. Thank you for the hint, please. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Oh my god.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, "Mind Control
Ah,
Facility."
shit, I meant to go back up. My brain just turned off there for a moment and didn't go back up. The button's still here. Okay, thank you. My brain just kind of went there for a moment. My brain lost it. But we're going up again.
Said Stanley. "I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart." He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Again, can't slip down through here.
For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Yeah, I'm just looking around for that clock. 3.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
The goddamn bucket.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak.
Thank God, I don't
to
need it to
listen
be
him
the loud
talk
in my
about what
ears.
it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Oh my God. Okay, let's see if... Let's do the rocket thing.
Co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it?
Stop messing with me!
Is this Stanley's office? Ah, the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stepping out.
There we go! Ooh, they closed that as well. Okay. Okay. Let's see if the figurine is where the escape pod ending is. They closed this. Right, they closed that. Whoa, it got really yellow all of a sudden. Jeez. They excuse me, in my throat. They really play into this bucket choked up. This is all, I'm losing my mind and I'm culling a goddamn inanimate object. Alright. Let's see if the figurine's here somewhere. Let's see if the figurine is here somewhere. Nope. Nothing so far. Oh God, if this does nothing, I'm gonna have to cut it out. Great. Figurine. Oh, something's different. Something different happened. Oh, what? What the hell? Okay, the figurine wasn't there. And we've checked. We have not checked the apartment ending. We haven't checked the
How
apartment
long was I
ending.
sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
The bucket's not there! We put in the escape pod and it went away! The bucket's not there! Oh my god. Oh my god.
When Stanley came to a set of
Okay,
two open
wait.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
Figurine both red, in a place that's both red and blue. We couldn't go to the
This
red
was
and blue
not the
doors
correct way to the meeting room,
without-
and Stanley knew it perfectly
with the bucket,
well.
but what if we go there
Perhaps
without the
he wanted
bucket?
to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire
What if we
it.
go there without the bucket? They'll let us go in,
It
right?
was okay.
This room is okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
Now
left.
let's go to the room with the red and blue doors, if we don't have the bucket.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Right? They'll let us do that.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been... Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it.
Yes!
Let me prove
Yes!
that I'm on... And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Yeah.
Now listen carefully, this is
Let's go back to the room that told us the figurine stuff. Let's also see if the bucket's there again. What? Wait a minute. We're still in the seat. The balloons aren't here.
Stanley, I'm sorry.
What-
but I
what
have
the
to put
fuck?
pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with
The
inner
mouse.
richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh
I
boy!
would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
I'm remembering when Stanley found collectibles. Okay, we're back here again.
Here's where it all began.
What is
The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
broken it instead of those eggs? Ay, ay, ay.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Okay, now 6.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Under the stairs.
No. Under the stairs was the fourth place you found a fig Anley, not the third. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious.
Now I
so
can't remember.
That they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? If under the stairs feels like the third place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments?
What?
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room.
Yeah,
but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No, I don't remember that. But then again, our memories are unreliable. If I've been with a bucket this whole time, so who knows what's real, what's not anymore. Then what has happened and what hasn't?
This was the fifth mini stand, and this one was really
Yes.
something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
That's the video to prevent me from dying. Oh my god, one of these like, oh my god, these old, oh my god, like the basic just editing before like, I think Premiere was a thing. I think this is before Premiere was a thing. It's, Christ! You're probably, like it was edited on, God, what's it called? Oh, what's it called? I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember what the software was called. I've used the software before for a school project. Before. I remember that much.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video,
I
but
can't
it was
jump off.
8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else. And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected.
The game actually keeps track of what order I collected them in?
Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
You're in the present.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Ha 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 ha! What the heck?
No.
I know the loading screen is a little too slow. Oh my god!
Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
You can't. You can't.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this.
Dude.
I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Oh my god. You can't. You can't. The past is in the fucking past.
Here's
You
where I
can't.
made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Dude, please do not show it to me again. Please. Okay, it's fast forwarded. Thank you.
I love that video.
This pink room that we've never been in before until now.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
True, solid room. Very solid room. 10 out of 10.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm so glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
This is like an ending in itself, so it is like a reward. That's so funny. That's so funny. Whoa. Okay. That's funny. Because this is like a reward. This weird ending is like a reward in and of itself. That's so cool.
This was our second figgy. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too.
It's better than being shat on.
Only a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
The jumping thing. Oh my god, they're messing with my brain.
It's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Oh my god.
Oh, yes. The two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
Are you gonna go meta
There's
and
something
go?
I feel I can
Are you
remember.
gonna go meta and say like game development? Like, are you gonna go meta on me?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go.
What the hell?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. What? Buckets. I genuinely... Okay. What the... Okay. I'm going to end this part here. Because I think we're getting... I feel like I'm running out of options of endings to choose. Because I can think of 2 endings that we haven't done, and then 3 we haven't done with the bucket. So there's 2 endings without the bucket that we haven't done, and then there's 3 endings with the bucket that, you know what? But we're not gonna end this part. We're gonna take the bucket, and we are gonna
try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
And we're gonna go turn on the mind control machine. We haven't done that with the bucket yet. That's what we'll end this on.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
That's what we'll do. We're not ending this part yet. No. We're gonna go, and this room is back to normal.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
We're gonna turn on the mind control machine.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I actually didn't do the apartment ending with the bucket like I wanted to, because I realized that, where the figurine was.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
There it is.
Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
What?
Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another.
What the
and
hell?
It dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, it's time to do the apartment ending with the bucket, but like,
all
what?
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker.
Oh my God.
In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
Right to
This
the
was
apartment
not the
ending.
correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah, good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Yeah, let's not fall off and die.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
What? Your bucket president, take me to work with you. Oh.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him.
Yeah.
Concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
B?
Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man! Don't listen to the loud man!
You see,
The fuck?
he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
See, do you ignore anyone in your life except for me?
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press me to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press M to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Hey! To go back home. To go home, to work, to home, to work, to home, to work, to home, to work.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. The bucket. Oh, no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. Give it to me now.
Close your eyes! Go back to work, Stanley. What is going on?